The old space station floated alone near a dying star. Its outer walls were cracked, its lights long dead, and its crew gone for over 100 years. Most thought it had drifted into silence, forgotten by time. But suddenly, deep inside its ruined core, a weak signal blinked alive. Signal was slow, broken, and in an old alien language no one used anymore. It repeated just one thing, a warning, but no one was listening. A small patrol ship called the Zeker was flying near the edge of that dead star system. The crew was bored, just finishing another dull patrol shift. That's when the signal reached them. The pilot, a young alien named Rel, leaned forward. "Is that from a ghost station?" he asked, confused. The signal was too damaged to understand, but it felt urgent. The captain gave the order to move closer. As they approached the station, the message grew louder. It was not a call for help. It was a warning, something about Earth. That name Earth was strange to them. It's just a forgotten planet in some restricted file. The moment their scanners connected fully with the signal, something happened. Static screamed through the ship. Lights flickered. Crew cried out. Then, silence. All 5 crew members of the Zeker vanished from comms. No sound, no distress signal, nothing. Just gone. One day later, a junior researcher named Vesik sat alone in the records department of the Galactic Central Archives. He was sorting old data logs when he saw something strange. A new incoming alert file marked classified, do not open. The source? The patrol ship Zeker, but the message was buried. The system refused to open it. Even with his clearance, it was locked. His curiosity grew. Vesik had always been interested in old secrets, especially about forgotten planets. One word in the file title caught his eye. Earth. He dug deeper. The deeper he went, the more systems tried to stop him. Warnings popped up. Access denied. Level 9 only. Memory core locked. Vesik paused, but then smiled. He wasn't just any junior. He had written code in the archive system once. Quietly, he bypassed the lock. When the file opened, it was mostly static, broken audio and visual data. But in one short piece, a calm, terrified voice whispered, "This is not a planet. This is a trap. Do not go to Earth. Do not even say its name." The screen glitched, and a line of alien text flashed across. "If they smile, run." That was all Vesik leaned. Back in his chair, heart racing, he checked the file again. It was vanishing, self-deleting. Within seconds, it was gone. No trace. It was as if he had imagined it. But he hadn't. His hands were still shaking. The patrol ship had disappeared. The ghost station had sent a warning. And someone, or something, didn't want the galaxy to hear it. He knew he should. Report it, but to who? The Galactic Council? They wouldn't believe him. Worse, they might erase the message, and him. Earth was just a myth now, a closed file in history. That line, it stayed in his mind. If they smile, run. Vesik stood, took a deep breath, and saved the one fragment he had, left onto his private device. One sentence, one voice. One truth the galaxy had buried in silence. He didn't know why, but he was going to find out. The mining moon of Dorax 9 was a dirty, forgotten place. Dust storms howled over the metal domes. Old machines rattled through the nights, and inside a dark bar called the Rusted Fang, broken workers came to drink and forget. But on this night, something strange happened. An old alien face, covered in scars, walked in, and no one noticed him at first. He moved slowly, like he was carrying something heavy inside. He sat alone in the corner, silent, until he spoke. "I was stationed on Earth," he said softly. Every voice in the bar stopped. One worker turned and laughed. "Earth. That's a dead story, old man. You drunk?" The old alien looked up, his eyes cold. "No, I was there and I lived." Now they were listening. He said his name was Corin, once a high-level soldier in the Threx Empire. Long ago, his empire had found A small blue planet called Earth. It had water, air, and rich minerals. But most of all, it had humans. The Threx believed humans were weak, soft, easy to conquer. They were wrong. Corrin told them how his fleet landed with full force. Warships darkened the skies. Robots marched through forests. Cities were surrounded. They expected surrender. Instead, humans smiled. Not with fear, but with something else. Something that made even Corrin feel cold. He remembered a village. Small, quiet, they landed there first. Children came out and waved. Soldiers thought it was funny. See? No threat, they joked. But that night, the trees moved. Shadows attacked. Not with lasers, with knives, fire traps. They fought like animals, like ghosts. They did not beg. They did not speak. They just smiled, then killed. One by one, the Threx units vanished. Ships exploded in the sky. The forests burned, but the humans walked out untouched. Corrin's commander ordered a retreat. But it was too late. Only one escape pod made it. Out. Corrin was inside. He told the bar, "I thought I was lucky. I thought I survived. When I returned, my report was deleted. My memories were questioned. They called me a liar. They told me Earth never existed. My rank was removed. My name erased." The bar was silent. No one laughed now. One of the younger aliens whispered, "Why would they hide it?" Corrin looked at him with tired eyes, because Earth doesn't fight like other worlds. They don't stop when they win. They erase. They make sure no one remembers. My fleet is gone, and no one even knows. In the shadows, a small recording drone buzzed silently. The bartender, a curious creature named Zim, had activated it. He had a feeling this story was not just old drunk talk. The next morning, he sent the recording to a private research contact. Someone who once asked questions about Earth, a young researcher named Vesic. Across the stars, Vesic opened the file. His eyes widened. This was not a story. It was proof, real living proof that Earth had been attacked and had destroyed the attackers. But how? How did the galaxy forget? Why was every warning silenced? Most of all, why did the humans smile while they burned everything? Vesic leaned back in his chair, now had two pieces of the puzzle, a vanishing signal, and a survivor who should not exist. The warnings were real. Earth was not forgotten by accident. Someone had buried the truth deep, and that truth was waking up again. The Grand Archive of the Galactic Core was the most secure place in the known galaxy. Only a few were allowed inside, and even fewer were trusted to read the deeper layers. But Vesic was not like the others. He was quiet, smart, and patient. He had a question that burned in his mind day and night. Why was the truth about Earth hidden? After receiving the message from the bartender, Vesic could no longer ignore the warning. The words from the old soldier haunted him. They don't just fight, they erase. Vesic made a plan. Pretended to be working late, cleaning, and organizing digital records. But in secret, he was searching. The files he needed were locked. Behind level 9 clearance, something even most council members didn't have. But Vesic had written part of the archive system years ago. He knew how it worked. Slowly, carefully, he slipped past each layer. Systems blinked. Firewalls tried to push him back. But he moved with care, avoiding alarms. Finally, after 2 hours of silent work, he reached something called Operation Forgetlight. The name itself gave him chills. The file opened, shaky video, damaged audio, broken code. But what Vesic saw was clear enough. Images of human faces, dirty, bleeding, yet smiling. Human children playing near burning alien tanks. Soldiers carrying injured civilians while alien prisoners screamed. The humans weren't just winning, they were enjoying it. Another clip showed an alien commander crying out. They don't sleep. They don't break. They smile even when dying. His voice cracked with fear. Then the screen cut to static. Vesic kept going. He found logs from 5 different empires. All had attacked Earth. All had vanished. One report from a spy ship said they tried to drop a memory eraser bomb on Earth. It failed. The humans captured the ship, learned its tech, and used it against the attackers. The final note in the file was strange. It said, "The Earth's response is not just war. It is removal. They come quietly after the battle. Erase memory. They change records. You think you won until you realize you never met them. You were made to forget." Suddenly, the system flashed red. Warning, memory trace detected. Vesic cursed under his breath. Someone had noticed. He quickly copied one image, a smiling human standing over a crashed alien ship, and shut everything down. But it was too late. The file began to delete itself, just like the first one. Vesic watched helplessly as years of hidden truth turned into empty static. He backed away from the screen, shaking. He understood now. Earth had been attacked many times, but each time they won and made the galaxy forget. Not with lies, but with stolen memory tech. They didn't want peace. They wanted silence. Someone was helping Earth cover the truth. Maybe the Galactic Council. Maybe something higher. Vesic didn't know. But now he had proof again. Second. Peace. And someone didn't want him alive with that knowledge? His door suddenly hissed open. Security bots entered. "You are not authorized here," they said. Vesic didn't wait. He grabbed his device and ran through the halls. Behind him, the lights turned red. Alarms rang. But he didn't stop. He had what he needed. He didn't know where to go. He only knew one thing. He had to find more. Somewhere out there was someone. Or something that had survived Earth and remembered. Vesic was ready to risk everything to find them. Because if humans really had this power, and if they were waking up again, the galaxy was in more danger than it had ever known. Ship moved quietly through space. Vesic sat beside the pilot, a rogue smuggler named Telra. She didn't ask many questions, which Vesic liked. He had given her only one detail. They were following a distress signal from an abandoned moon called Yarnus 3. The signal was human. That alone was enough to make Telra's face go pale. The signal wasn't loud. It was soft, like a whisper. Every 10 minutes, it repeated the same words. They buried the truth. But I remember no name, no call for help. Just that sentence over and over again. When they landed, the moon looked empty. Cold wind blew over dead rocks. No signs of life. But the signal was coming from inside a deep crack in the surface. They climbed down carefully. At the bottom, hidden behind layers of old stone, was a steel door. Human-made. Vesic placed his hand on the panel. The door opened with a soft hiss. Inside was a quiet room, dimly lit. Old Earth tech lined the walls. Things not seen in over 300 years. And in the middle of it all sat a young girl. Pale skin, black hair, calm eyes. She looked no older than 16. She smiled. "You came," she said gently. Vesic froze. He couldn't speak. The girl stood and walked toward them, no fear in her. Steps, no questions. She looked at Vesic like she already knew him. Telra pointed her blaster, hands shaking. "Don't move," she warned. The girl didn't stop. "You're scared," she said. "That's good. Means you remember something. Your mind can't explain." Vesic finally found his voice. Who are you?" The girl tilted her head. "I'm human, or I used to be. My name doesn't matter anymore. I was left here when the last memory purge began. They forgot about me." "Who forgot?" Vesic asked. "The galaxy," she whispered. "The council. The empires. Everyone who touched Earth and lived. They erased what they saw, and then erased themselves." Vesic stepped closer. "Why?" The girl looked sad for the first time. "'Cause you were never ready to meet us." She turned and pressed a button on the wall. The floor shook. Platform lowered, revealing a hidden hangar. Inside was a black ship, shaped like a blade, unlike anything Vesic had ever seen. Its surface rippled like water, yet felt like steel. "This ship is Earth's answer," she said. "Not a weapon, a tool. To erase memory, travels after the war is done. Quiet, fast. It doesn't destroy. It makes your history forget what happened." Telra stared at the ship, speechless. "How long have you been down here?" she asked. 300 years, the girl answered softly. "I was a test subject. I left behind when they thought the purge was complete. But something broke. I didn't forget. Vesic looked at her. Why send a signal now? 'Cause Earth is waking up again, she said. The stars are shifting. The silence is ending. Someone is about to attack again. And this time, Earth won't hide. The room fell quiet. Vesic realized what this meant. The stories, the warnings, the lost files, they were all real. Earth had built a weapon not to fight bodies, but to fight memory. A weapon to stay hidden. A weapon to make the universe forget it had ever fought back. The girl stepped into the ship. I can take you to where the last memory purge ended. Maybe then you'll believe everything. Vesic nodded. He had no choice. The truth was bigger than anything he had ever known, and the human girl who should not exist was about to show him how Earth truly erased its enemies. The black ship hummed softly as its systems came online. Dust and silence had covered it for centuries, but now it felt alive again, like it had been waiting. Vesic stood near the open ramp, staring in awe. The ship looked simple from the outside, but inside, it was full of strange lights and smooth panels that changed shape when touched. There were no windows, no weapons, no engines like other ships. And yet it moved. The human girl placed her hand on the main console. This ship was called Oblivion Protocol, she said. Built by Earth's secret division, it doesn't attack planets. It erases history. Vesic frowned. But how? Ships can't delete memory. She looked at him. This one can. It uses a field, a silent wave that reaches minds, systems, even machines. It finds records of battles, voices, names, and removes them. Once it passes over a region, it's like Earth was never there. Telra, still shaken, stepped inside. So that's how all the files vanished. The missing patrols. Soldiers who came back with nothing in their heads. The girl nodded. Yes, that's why your galaxy forgot. That's why Earth stayed hidden. As the ship lifted off the surface of the moon, something strange happened. A sudden spike in energy pulsed from the ship, reaching far into space. Vesic's communicator started ringing. Systems around them lit up with emergency alerts. Telra checked the readings. Half the galaxy just felt that launch. She whispered, defense systems, awakening, ships moving. They weren't alone anymore. Across distant stars warning, lights began to flash. Ancient satellites that had been asleep for centuries blinked on. Planets that had once forgotten Earth suddenly paused, remembering. Just a little, somewhere deep in the council chambers, a hidden room opened. Inside it, the words Oblivion Protocol Active appeared in red. Council members looked at each other in fear. One of them whispered, "It's back." Vesic looked out through the screen. What happens now? The girl didn't smile this time. Now they'll try to destroy us. Because if we reach the core with this ship, the truth will spread. Records will return, minds will remember. Telra asked, "Can we fight them?" The girl touched the ship's core. No, but we don't have to. If we reach the place where the last purge ended, the ship will reactivate the memory zone. It will send everything back. All the lost stories, all the warnings, all the files. Vesic understood now. That's why someone buried the first signal. That's why they erased the survivor. The galaxy doesn't want to remember what Earth really is. The girl turned to them. But the silence is breaking. Earth didn't want war. But when war came to Earth, Earth decided to make the galaxy forget. Suddenly, red lights flashed across the ship. Enemy vessels were incoming fast. Council warships, elite class. They had found them. Do we run? Telra asked. The girl looked calm. No, we go. Forward, the ship turned toward deep space. Ahead of them was the last forgotten zone, a place wiped from every map. Behind them, the galaxy finally remembered something it had tried to forget. And in that silence, between memory and truth, the war for the past had just begun. The black ship raced through deep space, silent and smooth. Vesic sat in the control room beside the human girl and Telra, staring at the growing light ahead, a dead zone in the galaxy's core. On every star map, This place had no name. It was labeled only as void, but this was the last place. The memory purge had touched. If they reached it, the girl said, the truth would come back. Behind them, 6 warships from the Galactic Council followed fast. Their orders were clear: destroy the Earth ship before it reached the core. The Council didn't want the truth. They wanted silence. The girl moved her hands over the controls. The ship responded like it knew what to do. She wasn't piloting it. She was guiding it like the ship had memory of its own. It was built to survive anything, she said softly. It was built to finish the job, no matter what. No. Vesic opened the hidden file he had saved. The smile of the human in the photo still chilled him. He had seen fear before. He had studied war. But nothing made him feel the way that humans' smile did. Not angry, not cruel, just calm, as if pain and fire were normal. As they neared the dead zone, strange signals began to appear across space. The old files, lost messages, holograms of forgotten battles, voices that hadn't been heard in centuries. A mother screaming for her child, commander begging for help, an alien soldier shouting, they're everywhere, they're laughing. Telra stared at the images in shock. It's all coming back. Yes, the girl said. The ship is waking up the zone. It's repairing the lost history. Inside the Council ships, panic was spreading. Pilots reported strange memories appearing in their minds. Dreams of places they had never seen, battles they had never fought. One officer looked at his hand and saw blood that wasn't there. They're remembering, Vesic whispered. Even the ones chasing us, they're starting to remember Earth. Suddenly, one of the warships turned away. Then another, was confused, lost. The purge was breaking. But 2 ships kept coming faster now. They had locked weapons on the black ship. Telra shouted, they're going to fire. The girl didn't move. Let them. The enemy fired 2 massive plasma blasts. The black ship didn't dodge. The blasts hit its surface and vanished. No explosion, no damage, just silence. The ship absorbed it like nothing had happened. Then the ship released a wave, not bright, not loud, just a soft pulse. Across the galaxy, memory returned like a flood. People dropped to their knees. Soldiers screamed, historians wept, whole systems stopped moving. On every screen, one message appeared: Earth was never forgotten. You were made to forget. The last Council ship stopped moving. Its crew stood still, eyes wide. A voice came through. There comes a voice from Earth. We warned you, the voice said. Calm, gentle. You came to us again and again. You attacked. We did not want war. We only wanted peace. But you didn't listen, so we erased your mistakes. Vesic looked at the girl. She was smiling now. Not the dangerous smile. Hers was tired. Gentle, it's done, she said. Will they attack again? Telra asked. The girl shook her head. Not this time. This time they remember. In the darkness of space, the black ship stopped. Mission complete. Silence. Broken. Memory restored. And far away, on a small blue planet called Earth, someone smiled. This time, not in war, but in peace, because the galaxy finally remembered who they were, and would never forget again. The black ship floated quietly. In the center of the dead zone, around it, the stars pulsed like they were waking from a long dream. The forgotten memories had returned. Across the galaxy, people sat in silence, staring at screens, listening to the voices of the past, the screams, the warnings, the battles Earth had fought and erased. On board, Vesic felt numb. For so long he had chased secrets. Now the truth was everywhere. His hands trembled. He could still hear the voice from Earth echoing in his mind. You were not ready. Telra leaned against the wall, her face pale. What happens now? She asked. The human girl looked out the window. Her voice was quiet. Now they decide. The galaxy remembers again, but memories bring fear. Vesic nodded slowly. They will fear Earth, maybe more than ever. The girl didn't answer. She simply turned and walked to the back of the ship. Vesic followed her. She led him to a sealed chamber, the only door still closed. As it opened, a soft blue light filled the room.
Ouch.
Inside were stasis pods. Hundreds of them. Humans. Sleeping. Alive. Vesic gasped. "What is this?" The girl stepped forward. They were part of Earth's last defense program. Not soldiers. Not leaders. Just witnesses. Kept asleep until the truth returned. If the galaxy remembered, they would wake. Vesic moved closer. The humans looked peaceful. Men, women, even children. Their faces calm, not warriors. Just people. They didn't want war, the girl said, but they prepared for it. Earth is quiet now, but never blind. They watch, they wait, and if war comes again, they'll be ready. A soft tone echoed through the ship. The pods were unlocking across the stars. Chaos and fear had started to rise. Some planets sent emergency messages. Others began building weapons. Some wanted peace, others wanted revenge. But no one ignored Earth now, not anymore. The council met in secret. One member, voice shaking, asked, "Do we attack again? Or do we leave them alone?" Another member whispered, "We tried to bury them, but they remember everything. What do you think they'll do if we strike again?" The galaxy was afraid, but also awake. On Yarny's 3, the black ship lowered too. The surface. The girl walked out, breathing the cold air. Vesic and Tellera followed. Behind them, the stasis pods slowly opened. One by one, the humans stepped out. No armor, no weapons, just quiet eyes and slow steps. One of them, an old man, looked at the stars. "How long has it been?" The girl answered. 300 years. They forgot you. But now, they remember. Old man smiled. Not with pride, not with anger, just with knowing. "Good," he said softly. "Maybe now they'll listen." Vesic stood beside him. "What if they don't?" The man turned to him. "Then Earth will do what it must, but we'll always give peace a chance first." High above, new signals moved through the stars. Earth had not sent a threat, just a message. We never wanted war. But we remember everything. And in every corner of the galaxy, that sentence burned itself into history. A sentence no one could erase this time, because now the silence was broken. Now Earth was no longer a myth, and now the galaxy would never forget.